Planet G hung in the vast emptiness of space, a vibrant sphere of blue and green. It was a world teeming with life, a symphony of ecosystems interwoven in delicate balance. Yet this harmony was not reflected in its sentient inhabitants. Three distinct humanoid species shared this world, their paths diverging, their destinies intertwined. The first species, the azure, were characterized by their piercing blue eyes and hair like spun silver. They were the architects of civilization, their cities gleaming monuments to technological prowess. Their hands, nimble and precise, crafted wonders that pushed the boundaries of science. The second species, the umbra, bore eyes dark as night and hair straight as raven's feathers. They were a proud and ambitious people, forever striving to match the azure in their technological advancements. Theirs was a constant struggle to prove their worth, to stand as equals on the world stage. The third species, the verdant, stood apart. Their skin, the color of rich earth, and their hair, thick and untamed as the forests they called home, marked them as different. They were a people rooted in tradition, their lives governed by the rhythms of nature. They were the keepers of ancient wisdom, their voices raised in warning against the relentless march of progress. The azure were driven by an insatiable curiosity, a thirst for knowledge that knew no bounds. They delved into the secrets of the universe, unlocking the power of the atom and harnessing the forces of nature. Their cities rose like shining beacons, testaments to their ingenuity. Towers of glass and steel pierced the sky, their surfaces shimmering with intricate networks of energy. Vehicles, sleek and silent, moved effortlessly through a network of sky-high roadways. Information flowed freely, carried on beams of light, connecting the azure in a web of shared consciousness. The umbra, constantly seeking to emulate their azure counterparts, followed closely behind. Their cities, while impressive, lacked the ethereal grace of the azure metropolises. They were places of industry and ambition where the clang of metal and the hiss of steam filled the air. The verdant watched the relentless expansion of the azure and umbra with growing unease. They saw the forests shrinking, the air growing heavy with the byproducts of progress. Their shamans, their eyes filled with ancient wisdom, spoke of a delicate balance disrupted, of consequences that would ripple through generations. They warned of the earth's anger, of the spirits of the land crying out in pain. They spoke of a time when the very air and water would turn against their creators, when the gifts of the planet would become instruments of destruction, but their words fell on deaf ears. The azure, blinded by their pursuit of knowledge, dismissed the verdant as backward and superstitious. The umbra, caught in their own race for advancement, ignored the warnings, their eyes fixed firmly on the prize of progress. The azure, in their quest for ever greater efficiency, had unlocked the secrets of genetic manipulation. They engineered crops that yielded incredible bounty, animals that grew at an accelerated rate. They believed they had conquered nature, bent it to their will. The umbra, eager to share in this newfound abundance, embraced these advancements wholeheartedly. They cleared vast swathes of land, replacing ancient forests with fields of genetically modified crops. Factories belching smoke and spewing toxins churned out products at an ever-increasing rate. The planet groaned under the strain. The delicate balance, maintained for millennia, was shattered. The air, once sweet and clean, grew heavy with pollutants. Rivers, once sparkling with life, ran sluggish and grey, choked with industrial waste. The consequences of their actions were not immediate, but they were inevitable. The viruses emerged silently, invisibly from the mutated organisms, the product of unchecked genetic manipulation. They spread with terrifying speed, carried on the wind, in the water, in the very breath of the infected. The azure, for all their technological prowess, were ill-equipped to deal with this new threat. Their sophisticated medical technology, designed to combat known diseases, proved useless against these rapidly evolving pathogens. The umbra, their cities overcrowded and their medical facilities overwhelmed, fared no better. Panic spread like wildfire, fueled by the invisible enemy that stalked their streets. Section 6. A sanctuary unveiled. Deep within the heart of the last remaining primeval forest, Hidden from the prying eyes of the azure and the umbra lay a hidden valley. This was the sanctuary of the verdant, a place where technology coexisted in harmony with nature. Here the verdant had cultivated a different kind of technology, one that drew upon the power of plants and animals. They had learned to communicate with the natural world, to harness its energy without exploiting it. Their structures, woven from living vines and trees, blended seamlessly with the surrounding forest. Their tools, crafted from bone and stone, were simple yet effective. They had found a way to thrive without dominating, to live in balance with the world around them. Section 7. The legacy of the green heart. The viruses, for all their destructive power, could not penetrate the green heart. The verdant, their immune systems strengthened by their natural lifestyle, were resistant to the deadly pathogens. They watched, their hearts heavy with sorrow, as the civilizations of the azure and the umbra crumbled. They felt the pain of the planet, the cries of the dying forests, the silence of the poisoned rivers. They knew that they could not remain forever isolated in their sanctuary. The fate of Planet G rested on their shoulders, on their ability to restore the balance that had been so carelessly shattered. Section 8. Harmony or Oblivion. The fall of the azure and the umbra served as a stark reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition. It highlighted the folly of believing that technology alone could solve all problems, that progress could be achieved at any cost. The survival of the verdant, on the other hand, offered a glimmer of hope. It demonstrated the power of living in harmony with nature, of respecting the delicate balance of the planet. The question remained, could the lessons of the past be learned? Could the verdant, the inheritors of a shattered world, find a way to rebuild without repeating the mistakes of their predecessors? Section 9. The seeds of hope. The verdant emerged from their sanctuary, their hearts heavy with the weight of responsibility. They carried with them the seeds of a new future, a future where technology and nature existed in harmony. They began the long and arduous task of healing the planet, of restoring the balance that had been lost. They shared their knowledge with the few survivors of the azure and the umbra, teaching them the ways of the green heart. It was a long and difficult path, but the verdant knew that the future of Planet G depended on their success. The fate of their world and the fate of their species rested on their ability to learn from the mistakes of the past and forge a new path forward. The seeds of hope had been planted. Now it was up to the verdant to nurture them, to help them grow strong in the fertile soil of a world reborn.